Welcome to our second series then. Scarlett versus KeeN. Scarlett. Can you take the 2-0? That's so important.
Scarlett.
I think that's so important to take the 2-0 here. Knock KeeN out without being knocked out yourself. Give yourself a shot at an Armani or Trap. And get this series back on track for the Shopify Rebellion. Losing Björn
Afrika Freaks. KeeN.
without taking down KeeN, I think is a big shame. For sure. As we get into this. So you guys again can see that Shopify Rebellion have lost 1 life as they lose Björn. They only have 3 grey bars at the top of the screen compared to the 4 blue bars of the Afrika Freaks. Jagannath the map. So the map as well I think is predetermined, like for the first series, second series, etc. I believe the first map is predetermined and the second map is loser's pick. So actually pretty nice for Scar to get ZvT on Jagannatha. I mean, they were going to send out a Zerg anyway because it was either Scarlett or Lambo. So they have no choice. It was going to be a Zerg. Obviously, they chose Scarlett. Now we'll see Scarlett get into the game here. Let's see what happens. As the Shopify Rebellion, like I say, looking to get back on track. I think again for many, the Shopify Rebellion were somewhat underdogs, like they talked about a little bit in the pre-show interviews. Where it was really, they have a really strong team, but they weren't a team that was like guaranteed to make playoffs. Right, because there was that real scrap. Like, everyone expected DPG, NV, Kaizi, and Afrika at the start of the season. Afrika definitely got weaker as the season went on. We expected those teams to make playoffs, but there was definitely that scrap over the 5th place. Team Liquid, Shopify, Alpha X, Good Game Gaming. They were all the teams that people were like, well, they could make it. And Shopify were the team to really, step ahead and say, yeah, we're going to be the team that makes it. They took the lead early in the season, and they kept it pretty much the entire season. I believe 1 week Team Liquid got ahead of them, and that was solved the week after as Shopify beat them. So, yeah, it was definitely a very interesting little, it was definitely a little bit interesting. It was definitely a lot of fun. Just gonna see that extractor going down. Just gonna save this drone on the 3rd base or so. So yeah, no, I mean, Shopify, what I was trying to say is that they were kind of the underdogs, but I feel like in this playoff match, they actually do have the potential to beat Afrika, especially what is expected to be a weaker Afrika with no TY, or expected to be a weak TY, no stats anymore. Of course, I say this, and KeeN seems to be showing up to be really strong as well, so what a replacement they seem to have found. KeeN was on Afrika before he went to military as well. Nice to see him coming back and looking good. It's actually kind of crazy how a lot of the players returning now. I wonder if there's I was wondering this a little bit, guys, and I'm interested on chat's opinion. I know, chat's opinion. I was wondering your opinion on this, because I feel like right now we're seeing a lot of players return to the military, or return from the military, and being successful. And I was just sort of thinking, do you guys reckon it's something to do with when they left versus when they return? The meta is similar enough, players in Korea haven't changed that much. Do you think there's just something about it that makes it much more accessible to return now than than returning in the past? Do you think the level is changing less or improving less rapidly than it used to? So that when these guys left, they were already competitive and that top level has maybe not improved all so much that they can't catch up. Whereas like 3 years ago, if you came back, the complete way that Starcraft plays has changed. That's what I was kind of wondering. Because we genuinely did not have any successful returns from the military for such a long time, Like, people would be back and they would just, like, not look good at all. People who return now more serious, that's possibly it too, right? Like, these are the people who really stuck with Starcraft the longest before they went, and they come back, yeah. Since 10 years ago, there's a lot more options for what they do in the military. Yeah, but I'm talking about the difference between people returning now versus people returning like 3 years ago. Who returned before but wasn't successful? And you could look at like Tasia, for example. He had like... Tasia had about 4 good series. He returned from the military. Tasia played about 4 good series. And really good series, like 5 games against Serral. Nearly taking out Dark and GSL. He literally had 5 good series, and that was it for his entire, like, 1.5 year return from the military. There's a bunch of players that have come back from from the military in the past. And you could argue MMA showed up, didn't do that well. MC came back. Yeah, there's been a good amount of players who have attempted to return and just never quite cracked it. Just going to be seeing these few units loading up and going up a right-hand side. A couple of Hellions are going to be, well, running straight into that. So Scarlett able to pick up a couple kills here. Is KeeN really trying to apply the pressure, but Scarlett deflected on all fronts. Even got this spore well placed already for the Liberator, so that takes a lot of damage while only getting one drone. And now this medevac hard committing into the main base. That's a dead medevac if I've ever seen one. Massive pick off for Scarlett as this game getting out of hand for KeeN. The early game harassment is not doing anything. And KeeN is dropping rapidly here in this first map against Scarlett. Wow, wow, wow. The ripples back around the upper left. A few drones going to get back to mining. Don't think that's the meta hasn't changed, but that auto styles remain viable. Well, obviously the meta's changed. I think it's more so than the meta. Like a meta can change, but like you can still play in similar ways. Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying. I think more than anything, I think it's like the top level hasn't moved as much in the last couple of years as it moved in the years before. I think that's my opinion on it. Might be complete nonsense. Who knows? Green tank, medevac moving up the center. A couple Lings gonna get shot down. That's going to be going up the left-hand side as we get going. We haven't had a huge patch in 4 years. We added the shield battery literally like a year ago or something, a year and a bit ago. When was it introduced? Oh, was the shield battery? No way. Was the shield battery introduced in like 2017? Holy shit. Starcraft's crazy. That was a long time ago. There's been a lot of big changes, man, in the last 4 years. It wasn't 2017. I know. I'm trying to figure out when they added the shield battery. No, the new defensive structure, the shield battery, was apparently added November 2017. According to Wikipedia, you guys think it was 2019? I feel like 2019 is more likely as well. I think the date is wrong on Wikipedia. Anyways. Sorry. Meanwhile, Banelings are crashing in. Counterattacks are happening. Overcharge was 2019. Wow, that's crazy, though. Alright. Marines, Libs, I mean, KeeN dealing with some of this aggression and actually starting to push Scarlett back. Scarlett had that really good series against Innovation in the season finals. Obviously took that 2-0 lead. What I was kind of thinking of was that, as Ling's going to get in. We said this kind of narrative during the season finals a lot, the idea of like Scarlett against Korean Terrans just seems to fall behind. But you really put that to the wayside against Innovation. Like, she really played a great series against Innovation. But like right now, it feels like a lot of what she's doing, even this run by, like got a tank and then kind of fell apart. Feels like a lot of this is falling into some trouble right now. It's just going to be seen how Ling Bane continuing through the rest of these Banes, trying to get on top of those Marines. And Skull wants to push this back. A drop on the right side of the map at the same time. The Marines over there going to try and hold out as KeeN. I tell you, I feel like KeeN's doing some good macroing. I feel like he's putting himself in some good positions, but he's not able to win any larger fights. And one of the issues he'll have right now is that his fourth base is only just now starting to build, so it's going to be a while until he really gets up comfortably onto 4 bases. Definitely seems like it's going to be a bit of an issue for KeeN going on from here, as he is going to try and keep up the pressure. Scott trying to defend what is a 5th base on this top left-hand corner. Doesn't quite have the units to run into that just yet. Banes are going to find reinforcements over here, and they might just continue through for the mineral line as well. Might really try and go for that aggression. This Queen on its own gets a transfusion. 1 lib down. Queen just getting transfused and transfused and transfused at the moment. I think Scarlett's held off the scariest part of this push. For a moment it looks scary, but now she's got lurkers coming through as well in good numbers. Her Vipers are coming out, and I think Scarlett has successfully made it up to a point at which she's really able to defend against all of this. Just gonna see a few Marines coming forward too. Lingbane still coming down. The rest of these Marines continuing to run into this. A couple of Liberators sieging up off over to the right-hand side. The other Marines showing up as well. Lingbane Lurker coming through. Lurker's going to burrow up, trying to hit the Marines. Not quite getting there just yet. Command Center moves down to the bottom side. Going to land over here. Just going to be seeing our Adaptive Talons on the way as well. It's just getting that up and rolling. Obviously, something extra for these Lurkers to become that bit better. That mobility they gain from that is obviously huge. Scarlett now has the map covered in creep, and it really does look good. Very, very, very good for Scarlett as well. KeeN's got a 4th in position, but I'm not sure if this 4th survives. It can lift up and dodge away from Lingbane right now, but these are just Marines on their own, and Scarlett maybe could have even had a better surround on those as well. She's also 2-2 against 1-1. My goodness, KeeN, what happened to your upgrades? He's only just got +2 attack on the way, so Scarlett's upgrades here are massive as well. I said that base should be able to lift up. It didn't. Base is down. Scarlett is just absolutely dominating this ZvT at the moment. No other way to put it. Just, this is absolute domination at the moment from Scarlett. Showing up, doing what she does best, creep spreading all over the map. She actually just looks like she's improved a lot. Even from the regular season, I feel like she's improved massively. A little bit of a choked up fight here, a bit of an awkward one. Does abduct that Liberator in, but no anti-air left. Don't think it really matters, guys. I mean, there is just so much Zerg and so little Terran. Floating the main base over to the 4th, and again, that just shows the desperation right now in the situation that KeeN is in. The 4th base as an orbital, that doesn't end well, because Lings alone are going to create issues as, yeah, upgrade advantage. Even just no armor upgrade on those Marines means that they die so quick. The tank fire definitely helped to clean those up a little bit, but then the tank goes down, the Lings are in the natural, and KeeN just falls into a worse and worse position right now. As these Lurkers come forward, they are going to burrow up as well. Scarlett dominates the first game and will put the point on the board for the shop. Alright, guys. Let's dive into game number 2 as we go back at Industries. What will Scarlett bring out here as we dive into our second game? Can she get the 2-0?
Shopify Rebellion, Scarlett.
Shopify Rebellion, Scarlett. It's a bit of a creepy voice, isn't it?
Africa Freaks, KeeN.
Africa Freaks KeeN. Yes, I am KeeN. I shall destroy the Zerg. Easy peasy. Apart from on Jagannatha. This best of 2's a mess, man. Jagannatha, the map that the Terrans be doing ZvT, and then you play Beckett, the map Zergs be doing ZvT. Like, come on, this best of 2 is messy. Scarlett just opens gas pool, just says, you know what, let's get aggressive. She needs the 2-0. I really think so. Otherwise, it puts so much pressure on Lambo, so much pressure on everybody else, basically. Lambo and then obviously a revived player. It's just tough. I really think Scarlett needs to survive, because I think if Scarlett can survive and Armani comes out next, I think Armani has a really good chance. I think Armani has a really good chance. Well, sorry, other way around. I think Scarlett has a really good chance of at least taking the map off Armani and getting that sort of situation so you can set it up so it really continues to be level. I think Armani has a good chance of taking a map off Lambo, and that would make Lambo go out before Trap comes out, and I think that's just very dangerous. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, basically. Scarlett needs a big win here. Look at this opening from KeeN. I low-key love it. CC first on Beckett Industries, because if you go pool first, you're not going to be able to delay the CC now. That's kind of funky. Into a Reaper as double orbitals will start. So yeah, Scarlett won't be able to do much with these first couple of links. She has an early link speed, still mining some gas as well. So she still has some gas income to use on the follow-up, and she'll see its command center first, and now she knows a little bit of what is coming up. The thing is that the only thing that I think CC first really just insta-dies against is something like a Roach Rush that's like a blind Roach Rush, and nowadays I'd say that's almost so obvious on Becca that the Zerg's like, well, we're not going to do that, right? You know, I'd like to do something that at least gives me a good chance of picking up a win. You know, because otherwise they're just going to assume I'm going to like try and cheese them out on the map that they love. Yeah, I kind of like the build choice from KeeN. Scarlett gonna make a few links, of course. Her link speed's about to be done, so she wants to use that link speed. But she invested in too early in the game. Wants to use that to pressure a bit. She's fully pulled out of gas now. She starts her third hatchery. So she has 100 gas just sitting there. And then we'll not add in any drones to that just yet. We'll wait a little while as lings go through the speedy zone. Reaper gets away just, by the way, 4 HP. No! You should have kept moving, Reaper Brody. Yes, he was going down. This Natural's actually in some trouble. So these feelings actually doing a pretty good job in clearing up a few SCVs, etc. So that's actually pretty neat as we obviously go into that stim. And KeeN going to go full on 3 racks production mode. So a lot of bio units on the way right now from KeeN. Feeling is just going to chill out beneath the command center there. Just going to be seeing our Marines going up against the CC. Yeah, Scarlett beat Trap last week in season finals as well. I just feel like if you gotta... The only issue I have with Scarlett against Trap is that I feel like Trap has the potential. I'd much rather, if you have to put out Lambo or Scarlett, right now I'd still just prefer to see Lambo. To have the best chance to make sure you take a map or so. Maybe that's just my biased opinion, of course. No, I mean, that's the thing about Shopify Rebellion. They're all playing great right now. I mean, Scarlett, I just think it's way better if Scarlett survives. I'm just trying to, like, theorize about how the match might play out and stuff. And obviously winning 2-0 and having an extra player alive is always going to be better. I just get worried if, you know, Lambo has to play and basically go 2-0, 2-0 against Armani and Trap to give them a decent shot or so. It's, you know, then it's really tough. I'm just going to jump on the rocks. It's going to be seen our Marines coming through. Going to pick off one Zergling already here, so just taking down a Ling or so. I mean, Marines clearing out. I mean, they're about to have combat shields and +1. The question will be, is Scarlett being too greedy? And I think the answer to that is, quite frankly, yes, she really is. 55 drones, only Lings in production. 60 drones, oh no. Is Scarlett just gonna die to these Marines? Like, the fact they have +1 and combat shield, these Marines are really powerful right now. They can actually do a lot. These Lings need to get surrounded. Okay, there are Banelings. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, obviously I'm passing off a clean feed, guys. I can't go and check things myself, you know. So there are Banelings. They're actually gonna waddle through the middle of the map. With Banelings, I'm not as worried, because then you can force the Marines to split. They're not as powerful just staying clumped up against Lings. And KeeN! Now he's got a stim as the Banes come from the other side. Full surround, and that's a complete and utter shutdown. Scarlett looking chuffed with that find. And that's a massive kill, as KeeN will lose everything for very little cost to Scarlett at all. Scarlett very happy with that pickup, and she might just even... She could probably morph Banes and bust through this natural. Does she need to? No. She's going to play it safe and get upgrades. But that's the kind of position she just put herself in with that fight, where she really could, if she wanted to, probably just go through that natural expansion and go from there and stuff. A lot lost from KeeN there early. That really weakens your follow-up, just Marine counter, etc. So it definitely puts you in a tough position. We've seen the Marines continuing through the map. Also going to find a Queen out there as well. Let's continuing through and getting set on up. I mean, obviously this is what you gotta do now, try and deny some creep spread and stuff, but yeah, considering this is back at Industries, this is meant to be the map which is so good for Terran. Skull just gets such a good start that she might be able to offset a lot of what the Terran would then like to do from this point on. She can take control of the map, get away from some of the annoying positions that are difficult to defend because KeeN just won't have an army to attack at that stage of the game. So that kind of stuff begins to look very, very good here. I'll see some Marines unloading off to that right-hand side. Again, our melee upgrade's going to be finishing fairly soon. A lot more Lings. Still on the way in from Scarlett. Our Marines just going to get lifted back up into the medevac. It's going to try and escape away. Scarlett at least going to finish up 1-1. And again, KeeN not quick to start 2-2 in the slightest. I guess maybe just never plans to get to 2-2 as he's only on 2 bases. Looks like he's just going to commit off of these and try and win this game right here and right now. Skull again, just 1-1. Should just be good for her. Get the Banes up and just needs a good fight to clean up KeeN one time. And again, even out this series between the Afrika Freaks and the Shopify Rebellion. Dropping the main base, something that Skull has to deal with at the same time as dealing with this push. There's a couple of medevacs just about escaping away up to the top side. Again, 2-2 upgrades on the Evo chambers as well. Plenty of Banes coming through. Marines again just spreading out that little bit as well. 11 more Banes in production on the left side as well in the center of the map. And we still just continue to push up the right. Another Liberator Siege and these few Lings going down. Queen's wanting to walk forward as well. Here we go with the Banes from the other side. The flank is looking good. Even just not giving KeeN anywhere to really kite to, although none of those Banelings connect. Oh no! Can KeeN actually break through this? Last couple of Banes go down as well. None of the Banes find a connection there. That's amazing. KeeN cleans up so many of them. Oh my goodness, can KeeN make this happen? Pushing forward, the Liberator is creating a good support. Good target fight, gets rid of 2 of those 3 Banelings. Right now, Skull just cannot find the good fight we were talking about, and maybe KeeN can still make this happen. Down a lot of supply, but that's mostly in workers. That doesn't matter if Scarlett can't transfer those workers and that economy into an army. Which right now, she seems to just not be able to. This Liberator may be a bit too far forward, kind of on its own. Not being supported properly as we pull back here. There's another Lib showing up. Some of these Marines now getting caught. Medevac saves them. But now the Lingbane does start to get on top. Starts to overrun this. And I think that might be the defense needed here from Scarlett. Remember, KeeN's just on a 2-base all-in, so the longer this goes, the better it generally is meant to be for Scarlett. A tank low HP, but sieging up. I wouldn't even mind a mule just to repair that tank and give it a little bit more life, so just it doesn't die to the first couple of Ling shots. I think that would be cool. Obviously, KeeN can't reinforce across the map just yet because of this threatening counterattack, so KeeN has very little still left on that side. He's actually just lifted it up and brought it back home as he sent the Libs forward to do some damage. 2 drones is not really anything to get too excited about, though. And now Scarlett stabilizes, and the 70 workers do get to do that job of just producing so much Lingbane. 2-2 upgrades just finished up as well, which means now you're obviously able to trade much better as well. And Scarlett really does put herself in a way better spot to clean out here. KeeN relocates his main base. Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's not it, buddy. I feel like that's not quite gonna do it for you. Yeah, I'm not sold on the idea of a main base orbital on the on the 3rd. Well, extra Bane's gonna finish up. The Lingbane gonna start moving through. Marines are gonna stem back. And this is gonna be seeing our tanks firing. A lot of these Banes taking a lot of damage. As we do have KeeN just getting slammed. I mean, Scarlett, when she defended eventually, that's all she needed. She needed an eventual defense. She got it. Marines across the map will not break through these Queens with the carapace upgrades. That's going to be GG. Scarlett is going to put it back on trap for the Shopify